Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to disturb you, Master. We need to talk, for this is a Fred Dane Productions podcast.
Oh, master, I am the master.
The master now. Cue the music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Wait a minute. Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
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 I am a Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and
And I'm the man that's got way too much soft drink in the fridge, I'm Michael Lister.
Yes, and you're now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experiencing it through the medium of the internet that we have. But not on my phone because I forgot pay my bill. But that's alright. It's probably going to come back tomorrow. Yay!
Hey! Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Great. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. Strap in. It's time to get to it. Fulya.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What have you been watching?
Alrighty. Well, let's just say my usual shows that I've been watching that I weekly mention. MasterChef is now over. I've been spoiled who the bloody winner is, thanks to Dad.
Aww.
Because he apparently watched it.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. So, I am 5 episodes out from the actual grand final episode.
Okay.
But I am
Nice.
getting close to catching up, even though it's over.
Now you're just
So
a
I know who-
completionist.
I know I know who wins. I know how it ends, but I want to see how it happened now. So
It is not the destination, but the journey.
yes,
That's the
yes,
phrase?
this is the journey.
Yes, this is true.
So
Otherwise, you could just
yeah.
take the Eagles to Mordor.
No. No.
Even though I've watched the movies.
God dang.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You
Right
don't need to
over my
worry.
head. It's
You don't need to
fine.
worry about the. You don't need to worry about the Eagles.
Okay.
It's fine.
No
It's,
one
you know,
worries
the
about
big-
the Eagles.
It's the big. They're the big giant birds that save Frodo and Sam at the end of Return of the King when they're on the mountain and they're like,
Been a very long time since I last
Wow.
watched it, but I believe you.
okay, oh, okay, all right. What else could I say that could be convincing?
I need to do a rewatch at some point, but I'm just not ready for
Yes.
that yet.
it's okay. It's a big commitment.
It
You
is.
know,
Aragon's hot.
Aragorn is hot.
Yeah. I
Especially
remember
when he opens doors.
Oh, yes, yes.
And screams in anguish.
Yeah, and breaks
Well,
his.
speaking of
toe.
screams, I did end up watching One Piece
Hey!
more.
Let me guess, the scream
nice.
is gum gum!
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just all the yelling every time they go into battle or whatever they want to go into fights.
Yeah, every
Um,
time.
Sort of in the middle of season 6, and it's pretty interesting to say the least. Like, what they're up against is something that they're in the sky. They're not used to the sky. They're blue ocean pirates. They're not sky pirates. So they're having some problems battling some of the peoples. Apparently, they're punished for entering without paying the fee when they first got there. So they pretty much broke the first law. Now they're all getting punished in their own ways.
What law? They're
half,
pirates.
half the team is being sacrificed, and the other team is fighting some heavenly, like, sentient being thing. I don't know.
And
They have their own interesting powers, and it's very interesting, and it seems like they're not sure how to get around it, and yeah, you'll get there eventually, Lister, so you'll understand what I'm trying to say.
When everything else is done, I'll be going right back to it.
Okay.
At least I need to make sure I finish before the second season is up.
Yeah, well, I feel like when the second season of the live action starts, I pretty much know what's gonna happen once that second season begins. So
yeah,
I'm cool. But I did also just on a whim wanted it in the background, watched The Emperor's New Groove on the desktop while I was doing some stuff on the computer. So I was like, I just want to have this on running in the background, and it was a little distracting though. Only because I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. It's only a little distracting because I know that film back to front, and so I was quoting the whole way through.
It's not like a movie you could just put on in the background while you're doing stuff because you love it to that degree that you just want to be in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm there doing my thing, and every time lines come up, I'm just like quoting them at the same time, and I'm just like, Fulya, stop it. But anyway, yeah, that was one thing. I just wanted to have it just sort of like just a watch, just because I love that movie. It's so good. And I was still sort of reeling on the high of meeting Patrick Warburton, so wanted to keep that going a little bit longer.
Booter.
Yeah. The last thing I will mention is I'm trying to get myself into kind of like a bit of a, I didn't say a routine, but more of a trying to get myself to watch more movies. At least like watch a movie once a week. Even if I'm not going to the cinema, I have my own little home entertainment system, so I might as well find a way to, watch something. It's on Disney Plus, and it's something that I should have watched a while ago, and I've finally gotten around to it because you two have been kind of like, just watch it, you'll enjoy it. I watched the Marvels.
Hey.
Hey.
I finally sat down to watch the Marvels. It sort of came up in my little, recommendation section. I was just like, you know what, screw it. Let's just put it on. I can't put it off any longer. Just play it, watch it. Happy to say I enjoyed it. It was good. It was a good movie. I had fun with it.
Nice.
Man, a lot happened.
In a small succession.
Yeah, it was there. It didn't feel like a very long film either. So
No, it's the shortest Marvel film ever.
Wow. Okay.
It's like 100 minutes. I think 97
just
minutes.
just over an hour and a half. Okay. Yeah. It just didn't like they smushed everything into a short amount of time, and I kind of feel like they rushed it a little. That's how I feel. Either that, or it's just for some reason, like I didn't come away from it feeling like, holy crap, what just happened kind of feeling. It was more of it was fun kind of feeling.
Fun romp.
Yeah, it was fun. Not my favorite of the Marvel films, but yeah, it was good. It was still nice, different sort of a change, I suppose, from all the other Marvel films that we've watched. But they're still cracking into the whole timey-wimey, cracking into space and all that sort of stuff. Please remind me, where does this film sit? Between what movies or series?
Who knows anymore?
Because I feel like it's after the Hawkeye series.
Yes.
After seeing that end credit scene.
I'd have to, honestly, I don't keep track anymore, so I'd have to Google.
And I have a feeling was it before Doctor Strange? The second one?
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
It could be after.
I think it was maybe just after, was it?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah, true. Because then it was also after WandaVision, obviously.
yeah.
Um,
After WandaVision,
and-
after Secret Invasion, bleh, and after Miss Marvel.
yes. Yeah. So it was just sort of like all those particular MCU shows.
Yeah. So at the moment,
And then
it's the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the most recent MCU film that's been out at the
yes.
cinema? Yeah,
Hmm.
okay.
Yes.
Alright.
They haven't had
Okay.
anything out
Until this week.
until this
Alright,
week,
cool, cool,
baby.
Yay! Got my ticket.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so that's been me this particular week. That's pretty much all I got around to watching.
I need to ask a couple of questions
Okay.
about the Marvels. Okay.
Mhm.
One, did you like Kamala? She was my favorite thing.
In this film,
Yes.
she was a little annoying at the beginning with the whole fangirling moments.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
okay.
I
That's
know
okay.
it's definitely a young person teenage thing to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all would have gone through that back in our times when we were teenagers too. But I don't know. For some reason, I find it a little irritating to see that now in film.
What, seeing someone who's fangirling over a
I know how it sounds. Okay.
when you were just talking about Spider.
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 No, Kronk.
Patrick.
Warburton.
Warburton.
Well,
Um,
no, but the way that they fangirl is a lot more intense compared to now when as an adult
Okay.
where you're just kind of a bit more subdued. So
oh,
it's kind of she was still cool though. But I did that. It was just the beginning, that part when that happened. But then for the rest of the film, she was actually pretty cool because of the way that she was seeing the things that are happening in front of her, and she's not happy about the decisions that are being made, which also made me kind of understand how she felt as well. It's like, but how can you make this decision? That these are people's lives at stake, or
yeah.
you know, there's lives at stake here, and you're just gonna leave them there. And I kind of understood where she was coming from in that respect. So yeah, like she was still good. Yeah, it was just at that beginning point where she was like, "Oh my god, she was here and I wasn't," kind of a moment.
Number 2.
Yes.
The Flurkins. The scene where they're all in the ship and they have to let them be eaten.
If I was on that ship, I'd run away too. Honestly, knowing, even though the announcement on the PA is telling me to stop running away and just let the little kitten flirtins eat me. No, sorry. I don't care how cute they are and if they're gonna keep me safe and actually transport me back somewhere where I'm gonna be alive. I don't want to be inside an animal. No, thank you.
It's all right for Jonah.
Who?
Jonah and the giant whale. All right, Pinocchio then. There you go.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, no.
No.
I'm good.
I
As
went the
cute as they-
Bible
as
and then I
cute
went Pinocchio.
If that was the thing, like when I saw the eggs, I was just like, I don't think they're a major threat. It's probably something happening, but I don't think it's a major threat. And then when I realized that it was Goose doing all that, I'm just like, oh, okay, here we go.
Definitely felt like an ex machina.
It was very funny.
Yes. Any more questions?
Oh, the one final question. What did you think of the planet that sings?
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
A world where you live in a musical. Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like singing, but I don't like speaking in song. I will say though, the prince. Hello.
mm?
That's a yes for Yen.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Carol Danvers did very well to make sure that things went well in that planet.
Did you
Nice.
like and notice that Nick Fury was sitting down in majority of the entire show?
He was sitting for the whole movie. Yeah, true. I do realize that now. He wasn't really up very much, but
Yeah, or running. Or anything.
no, but he was still shooting.
Yeah, from his seat.
He's still moving around in the ship sometimes, though.
Yeah, let's not get into Nick Fury because I want to derail and have a whole podcast just on my
We'll have a discussion after the podcast. There.
Yeah, maybe we will.
Yeah, but
Maybe
we have to talk about the post-credit scene because that's my favorite bit.
I don't. Oh yeah. For half a second, I was like, I don't remember him now. Ah, X-Men.
Oh, X-Man.
X-Man.
Hank
It's a
McCoy.
beast. Hank McCoy.
Kelsey Grammer's Hank.
Yes.
I heard the voice and I'm like, and then I saw the blue and I'm like,
Frasier. Frasier Crane.
Crane.
But then that whole thing when she sees her mum, but it's not really because it's an alternative. It's an alternative timeline. Yeah, I don't know. Is she Storm?
No. They've already said.
Yeah, I was gonna say that her powers, like the way that Storm usually speaks, and she wasn't really doing the same thing.
Yes.
Although I don't know if they want to do that in the live action.
Yeah, Storm's more Afrikaan than what she is. I think it was like Pluton or something.
Oh, okay. So is this an X-Men that we haven't met yet, or
I don't think she
maybe
was
I
an X-Men.
haven't?
No, I don't think she's an X-Men. I'm just
okay.
Googling it. Binary is the name of the character.
Binary.
I understood that reference.
Now.
Finally. Binary. Very good.
No, that post-credit scene, man. Yeah. Interesting.
It was cool.
But also the pre-post-credit scene, if that makes sense, with when
setting up the young
Kamala,
Avengers.
when Kamala goes and tries to recruit what's her name? Kate
Bishop. Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was fun. Young Avengers assemble.
Eventually.
And then they never assembled.
Still time.
There's still time, yeah.
Yeah, but there won't be Young Avengers by then.
It'll be the next generation.
Yeah.
Zendaya is still playing a teenager, so settle down.
Yeah, true. She's close
to look for it. Jeez.
Yeah, youthful. All right. Well, thank you, Fulya. That was great.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you enjoyed it for what it was. Mike, what about you? What have you been watching?
Well, just to jump off the X-Men bandwagon, I've been doing my X-Men's. I finally finished the original series of the animated series, and I've sort of started rewatching the revival because it's always good. And yeah, it a lot more connective tissue within the show after watching the original. Yeah, Leech's death hits more hard now. I don't know what you're up to, Fulya, but there's a episode that's about Leech. So talk about it later.
I think I'm still where I was last time.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, I haven't really touched it in a little bit.
Yeah, the one that I'm talking about is probably roughly at the back end of season 4. So, yeah.
Why does that name not sound familiar to me then?
He's a little green guy who lives in the sewer.
Oh, with the beanie?
With the beanie.
Yeah, okay, I remember now. Yep.
Yeah, it's a Christmas episode. Yeah. That's good. The movies, previous, wrong way. Heard that. Anyway, Kendall.
Sorry,
cough,
everyone.
ladies and-
Sorry, go on.
Sorry. Yeah, so I'm almost done the solo Wolverine trilogy. That's not really connected. Got the origins, then you got the Wolverine, and I'm gonna watch Logan on Wednesday, like right before, because that's gonna make me sad. I know that. Yeah. Sorry.
Torturing yourself.
Well, you know, sometimes you need a good cry every now and again.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
A good cry.
Good cry. Lubricate the eyes.
Lubricate the eyes.
And yeah, this is the first time watching The Wolverine, where he takes his trip back to Japan. That's
Still need to
good.
watch that.
Yeah, it's good. I didn't expect the first scene to be Nagasaki.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if I
Okay.
like it or not. Because
Oh, okay.
I'm always a bit iffy when it comes to depicting real world events and having that part of a fictional story. But I think Godzilla -1 is sort of is better because it is Japanese history and it's done by Japanese people, and yeah. So that's good. We get to see Silver Samurai, and yeah. So all I have to do is finish off the future but set in the past trilogy. So I'll be watching Days of Future Past, and then I'll be watching Apocalypse, and then Dark Phoenix for the 4th time. Same story. I mean,
Fourth.
yeah, 4th time
Yes.
seeing the Phoenix saga,
Oh, I see.
but for the first time, badly. Well, badly for the second time, apparently. I don't know. I could be a naysayer and say, you know, it's not that bad, because considering the Fox merger was on the horizon, and they just needed to say, oh, it's a thing now. Let's just go out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's just end it.
let's just end it. Yeah. It's yeah, whatever. Yeah, so looking forward to that, and done all that. And that's what I've been mostly watching, except for the stuff that has finished up, like The Acolyte, which we'll talk about later, as well as The Boys. The Boys.
Yeah.
The boys.
Boys.
Wow.
Oh, boys.
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow. I like witnessing a fictional assassination attempt on a US president after living through it in real life. Yeah, I like it. It's political. It's gut wrenching, and it ends on a downer, which I enjoy because it makes you ready for the 5th one. I'm glad it's ending because I don't know how to end that sentence.
I'm like, because.
Because
It is too real, and I'm
Yeah.
one of those idiots that are constantly online, so I got every reference of them lampooning real stuff. And it's borderline not really fun for me, which is a shame.
Aw.
But I'm more there for the character growth, and poor Huey.
Poor Huey. Hashtag poor Huey. That is like the slogan of season 4.
Yeah. And I'm not one of those that say, "Oh, Starlight doesn't understand." You didn't know. It's like, no. If you ever been in a relationship, that could be real, in a real way. But it is what it is, and they sort of made up at the end, considering she wanted him to get every test under the sun. Means she would still be with him.
Yes.
In a weird way. Yes. Yeah. And the Frenchie and Kira relationship.
Kamiko.
Yeah. And Butcher, well, is he now a villain? Is he to be stopped? We don't know. And House of Dragon, you're right, Kendall. It was sort of it was okay after considering the previous episode was. And I haven't seen this week's episode either because I like to watch it with my wife, who had a birthday. So that's why I've been drinking a lot of soft drink. A lot of soft drink because no one drank it.
My bad.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I blame all of you. Yeah, so that's been basically what I've been watching. What about you, Kendall?
Yes, well, in reverse order, I have watched House of the Dragon this week's episode. And it was similar to last week's episode in terms of just a lot of pieces being moved around and not a whole lot of, I don't know, it was a fine episode. It felt like the beginning of a build of momentum, which was cool. So couple of interesting developments. I won't spoil them for you, but yeah, it was an entertaining episode, as it is every week. It's just nice to live in that world for an hour once a week. It's as awful as it is. It's just really good television.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of really good television, The Boys.
Boys.
Yeah. Wow. What an ending to the season. That did not go really how I thought it was going to go at all. Yeah, but great. Really, really great. I'm mad at Starlight, but hey, it's fine. They're working it out. Well, they've worked it out. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, Butcher. Yeah, well, that was fucked. That was a cool reveal of his ability, though. Like, that was insane. I'm not gonna spoil the character who died, even though it's been a few days. But a couple of characters died. But
yeah, because eventually,
yes.
Fulya will watch it.
Hey,
Hey, there's
No.
there's references to Supernatural, which went over my head until someone said, "Oh, that's from Supernatural."
Oh yeah, Fulya. Why am I blanking on his name? Jim Beaver.
Daddy Winchester.
No, that's Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes.
Jim Beaver plays President Elect Singer, who is now
Of course, the same
president.
surname.
Yeah. No, he's Robert Singer.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's in the same universe, you see.
Yes.
Holy shit.
But yeah, it's fantastic. But no, he went full Bobby this episode. There was a scene where they're like hiding out in this like bunker panic room thing because they know there's an assassination attempt on him, and he's playing like those like little golf sets, those putting sets. Yeah, he keeps missing and he keeps saying balls. It just sounded very Bobby.
Balls.
And then the winner, he said idjit.
Yes.
And I squeed. I was like, Bobby.
And when I watched it, I went,
yeah.
I was like,
He had no clue.
why?
Yeah.
Why are we focusing on his bad golf game?
Bad putting for the supernatural fans. Yeah, that was fantastic. And I'm gonna spoil one little thing, just for you, Fulia.
Okay.
Mid credit scene,
Mm.
Soldier Boy comes back.
Oh.
Jensen
Oh.
Ackles makes
Mm.
he's still unconscious, but he's
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
And
because I knew that he was unconscious before.
well, I'm just, you know, I was saying in case Mike corrected me, but yes, he's unconscious.
Right.
He's
Well,
yeah.
He's not conscious, frozen.
No. Well, of course not. Well,
That's
that's what I mean. That's why I was clarifying. So I didn't, and then it happened anyway. Oh, why do I try?
He was asleep.
He was sleepy.
He was sleepy. But anyway, because
It's all right.
like,
He's got a staph infection.
there's there's a lot of talk about trying to get a Jared and Jensen reunion in the last season, and
Okay.
I'm neither here nor there about it. I don't want to hype myself up for it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've literally left us a breadcrumb of Soldier Boy possibly returning, yeah, it might be a thing that'll happen. So I was just like, ooh, that's interesting. But yeah, it was a great finale. It was awesome, and yeah, the ending was brutal. I mean, I will agree with you, Mike. Frenchie and Kamiko, I don't really ship them. I see them more as like soulmates who are friends, if that makes sense. Like they're just
Live through
I don't see
similar trauma.
Yeah, they've trauma bonded. I don't really see them as a romantic couple, but they have been sort of throughout the show, and then they had their first kiss, spoilers, in this episode. But and it was sweet, but I'm sorry, Frenchie had more chemistry with Colin.
Yeah.
Like way more chemistry with Colin. And I was like watching them make out was a treat for me. Anyway, yes.
But
Question.
Well, not really a question, but I think I think what sort of made me okay with the kiss was what happened to both of them at the very end.
Yeah,
And
that
Nico
definitely improves it.
Speaking for the first time.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That was I teared up. Like the fact that she finally broke through and can finally speak again, and the moment that happens, Frenchie can't hear her, like because he's being controlled and taken away. I was just like, that's fuck you, Kripke. That's really mean.
Yeah,
but it's great.
Kripke.
Yeah, fuck you, Kripke.
You don't know nothing.
Yes, the boys was great. I'm very happy with the season. It was good. But yeah, I'm also glad there's only going to be one more because yeah, it doesn't need to keep going. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride so far. What else do I have to mention? Yeah, still going with Abbott Elementary. I'm near the end of season 2 now because season 2 is actually twice as long as season 1, so there's a lot more episodes. So, still trucking along with that. But I'm not obsessed, but I love it. Like it's really good. It's really fun. Very funny show. And yeah, and then the last thing I have to mention, I went to the movies last week, and I got to see Twisters.
Doing it for themselves.
Indeed, they are. Yeah, so in case people aren't aware, I'm a huge fan of the original movie. Like, I really love the original film. It's probably my top 5 of all time. It's just amazing. So I had high expectations for this, high hopes, and I was really pleased and relieved that it worked out to actually be a good movie, this film. I would definitely call it more of a spiritual sequel than an actual sequel, because it's set so many years later. There's no characters from this film that appear in the first film. There's not really any continuing storylines. The only thing that carries over that I saw is that there's a device the characters use in the first movie called Dorothy, and you see Dorothy at the beginning of this movie. So that's it. So yeah, not really a sequel, but however, that aside, like it's worth going to the movies to watch because the tornado scenes in this were terrifying. Like they were intense. Whatever they did with the sound mixing and the sound editing on this was incredible because it was so intense. Like, like really, really intense. So I really appreciated that and enjoyed that. And then like the cast was great, and you know Glenn Powell was just dreamy. I mean, what can you say? He's a movie star. He's definitely proved himself now. He's really good, and I liked Daisy Edgar Jones in the lead role as well. She was very cool. I'm a fan of hers as well. But yeah, it was good. I'm so happy. Like I didn't want it to end. It was a 2-hour movie, and it was just like, yeah, it could have gone on and on. Fulya, question.
Was your snack of choice Twisties?
No, but I should have. I just had
opportunity missed.
Opportunity missed. Oh my god, I can't believe.
Could have had a
It's
time.
funny. I've got two packets of Twisties in the pantry right now.
God damn it. That's okay. I had a lot of popcorn. If that makes
Well,
if
I
that-
knew
if that makes
popcorn
things
would
better.
be your snack of choice, but I was just like, you know,
Twisties.
Ah.
They're right there.
Was your popcorn sweaty?
Was my popcorn sweaty?
Yeah.
No.
So no corn sweat?
No corn sweat. No.
What? Yeah, Superman's in this movie too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't think Fulya gets it. The guy that's playing Superman, his last name is Corn Sweat. So Corn Sweat.
Oh.
Mike was
Nah, that's not funny.
stretch. He was stretching it a bit. Man, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I saw him in this and I was like, "Ooh, Superman. Hello."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a supporting role and he's a bit of a jerk off, to be honest. Like, but he's fine. He's fine. I can't believe I'm like, "Oh, that's Clark Kent right there."
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Good times. Cool. Well, go see Twisters if you're at the movies. I recommend.
Or just eat a bag of twisties.
Or just eat a bag of Twisties. You know, I
Which
don't know
will
why.
definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why cinemas haven't gotten in on that and gone, have your Twisties.
There should have been like a
Bundle.
promo collab thing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they should have done some kind of combo.
Or
Twisties.
the tornado chips. I don't know if you ever remember those tornado
I
chips.
I think I do.
They're like little
Yeah.
cone looking things.
Yeah. What a time.
Yes.
What a time. Should have
Yeah.
brought him back. Yeah, that's my weekly watchings. Done.
Cool.
Done. So, okay. That means now it's time for the week it was in the nerdy news.
This is the news, the nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest,
All
Kendall
right.
Richardson.
Nerdy
Take it
news
away,
time.
Kendall.
My notes are failing here. Light on news this week, but that's okay. We're gonna next episode. You're not gonna know what hit you. But this week we've got a couple of things to talk about. Starting with some Marvel news. I'm keen to hear what you guys think about this because I don't know. Apparently, according to sources in Hollywood, the Russo brothers are in talks to direct Avengers 5 and 6. Yes. So, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know how I feel about this just because they did a really good job. Like, for the most part, like, there's only, like, a couple of nitpicky things I would, some of us might have to say about, some of their movies, but overall they, 9.5 out of 10. Like they really absolutely nailed it. For them to bring home that story the way they did, and control so many scenes, so many actors, so much going on. Two big 3-hour plus movies, like it's insane. So it's understandable that they'd want, especially when Marvel's in the position they are now, where they're definitely on the back foot. They'd want some familiar faces who know what they're doing, that they can trust in and know that at least they'll get something on par, or like to some acceptable standard that the public will enjoy. So yeah, I guess they're just trying to put out fires. I don't know. There's talks of maybe Sean Levy, who's directed Deadpool and Wolverine, of course, to maybe do it, but he's declined the director's job at least once, but who's to say he won't pick it up again. And now with the whole, Jonathan Majors situation kind of, Michael Waldron, the Loki showrunner, called in to rewrite Avengers 5, and the release date's pushed back, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Has been going on for a bit, but yeah, who knows how it's gonna all play out. I'm if it ends up being the Russo, sure, but I don't think we need them to. It kind of feels like them trying to get Joss Whedon into finished Justice League. Do you know what I mean? Like getting that, that name that you're like, oh, they can do this, and then they can just come in. Like, I think for me, part of as well the Russo's story with the Infinity Saga was the fact that they came off television and then fucking, hit the ground running with Winter Soldier, and then it was just this bam, 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 like hit after hit. They just nailed it. Like there's sort of a fairy tale run for them as directing partners. So it just feels, I don't know, it doesn't have the same sheen to it, I guess. But hey, they're going to do whatever they're going to do, and hopefully it's good. Because that's about all we can hope for at this juncture. I feel like Deadpool and Wolverine might be the exception to everything else MCU related at the moment. I would like to, just one final thought, I would like to see some up and coming directors given a shot at this. Like, for example, the guy that directed Twisters, his name's Lee Isaac Chung. He directed Minari with Steven Yeun. That was an Oscar-nominated movie a couple of years back, and it was really, really good. And then he directed Twisters, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think this indie director could do, But then again, you say that, and then I say, well, Chloe Zhao did The Eternals, and she came off an Oscar Best Picture win. And everyone was like, yeah, it's going to be sick. And then Eternals was Eternals. So, anyway, whatever. I'm just going to spitball and say whatever. What do you guys think? Fulya, do you want the Russos to come back? Do you think this is a good idea?
Look, I'm neither here nor there, to be honest. So if they come back and, like, they've shown us that they can do an MCU Avengers film really well, so I'm not surprised that they were called in to kind of like not really finish the job. I don't think it's more so just to finish the job sort of a scenario. I feel like this is more of a you're kind of the last resort. We know you've done it before. Can you please come back and do it again? Kind of a thing. That's how I feel this is kind of going. It's just a more of the fact that, like the producers out there, Kevin Feige knows the Russo brothers are great. He knows that they're gonna do a good job with this particular with the upcoming Avenger films. So he's like, why try to go out of our way to find someone new and then find out that they're not gonna do a very good job when we already know these guys have done it before and they can do a good job with it. So I feel like that's kind of where that's coming from, more so than anything. Just in the case of the fact that it's like they're kind of running out of people to sort of pick and choose from that they know are going to do a good job with a superhero film. So yeah, I kind of feel like that's what kind of the reasoning behind why they've been chosen. But you know, it could be a number of other reasons too. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I've seen the movies. They're good, but you know, what else they can pull out of their Avengers hat?
Yeah.
Avenger shorts.
Avenger shorts. Yes.
Yeah.
Mike, how are you feeling about this potential thing happening?
I'm fine with it. Hasn't really been set in stone just yet, and they still need to do a bit more organizing of an actual setup. I mean, they got into Thanos sort of touching like bits and pieces, and so that was great. And Kang was going to be that, but obviously that's the Council of Kang's movie is going to be renamed, reshopped. So they're essentially going back to square one, and they had the pandemic and the writer's strike and actors strike. So essentially what they're doing is, I think, is good, is they're essentially going back to something similar, but also making sure things are actually good. And what's the word? It's not the amount, it's quality over
quantity.
And obviously the bigwigs at Disney wanted to hit the ground running with Disney Plus, so they said, "Oh, we can have so much stuff now. So we got to make sure that there's like a Marvel thing each week until we have a Star Wars thing each week, and then we can dominate the entire streaming thing." And then people got burnt out quickly, and it's like, what? Are you not entertained? It's like, no, slow down. And it's diminishing returns at the moment. I mean, Book of Boba Fett and whatever the fuck Secret Invasion was. Constantly changing. And I think what's hurting like the movie side is because you needed to watch a TV show to get it, especially with like the Marvels. Like how many people went in there knowing, oh, there's a TV show with Kamala Khan, there's a TV show that you had to watch with WandaVision, and knew who Rambo was, and then also we haven't seen Carl Danvers in a sweet minute. So yeah, so a lot of things a lot of homework that people probably need to do. It's a bit difficult, and also the post-credit scene of knowing Hawkeye as well, the Hawkeye show. I mean, there's a lot of shows to watch to actually get that movie, and I can see why people sort of got turned off by it. So I think the fact that they're going back to recognizable names as well, then they can say, oh, from the people that made the Infinity Saga clap, and it completely worked. And yeah, and bringing everything together after 10 years of movies, and this is a good send-off. And I said it then, and I said it now. This was the peak of Marvel, and they are going to be on par with it or a little bit below. They can't surpass it because they haven't really done the legwork just yet, which is a bit sad, but not everything's forever. So,
Very true.
And Sean Levi, I think he's decided to do a Star Wars thing instead of a Marvel thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Who, who knows? Maybe Deadpool 3 is a piece of shit. We don't know until the end of the week.
Say that.
Optimistic, but
Yeah, expectations low.
reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's going to do gangbusters. I mean, my wife is convinced to go and watch it. And she hates superhero films.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she is excited.
Yeah, so... so, yeah. That's... Yeah, here nor there, but we know their track record, and they can pull something out of their hat. Hat ass.
Hatars.
Yeah, it's a
Very
hat for
nice.
your ass.
That's pretty nice. And shorts.
Shorts and
alrighty. Let's move on to our final item in the news this week, and that is, of course,
only two.
Only two. Only two. That is, of course, the Emmy nominations came out during the week, and very happy to see a very diverse pool of nominees from all different kinds of shows across races and gender identities as well, which is just really sweet. The top show this year with the most nods is Shogun, 25 nominations. I really need to add that show to my list. It's on Disney Plus for those who are not aware. And then, of course, right behind Shogun is The Bear, setting a new record in a single year in the category of comedy, because you know The Bear is totally a comedy. Yes. 23 nominations for The Bear this year. So yeah, it's really, really cool to see. A bunch of other shows that got nominated, of course. The Crown for their last season got best drama nods, acting nods across the board. The new True Detective series, Jodie Foster got a nomination for that. And then as for stuff that we are interested in, Fallout got some nominations after its first season, which is really, really cool. It got nominated for best drama series. Drama. And Walton Goggins, who's the male lead in that show, got nominated for best actor in a drama. So it's really cool to see some gaming IP represent at the Emmys. That's almost unheard of. And then, of course, two other things that had me really excited was Only Murders in the Building. Of course, Only Murders in the Building got lots of nominations, if you will, over 10, including, of course, Best Comedy Series, Best Actor for both Martin Short and Steve Martin, of course, as they have done, I think, every year since the show started, and first time nomination for Selena Gomez in a best actress in a comedic performance. So very happy for all of them. Very, very cool to see. And then the best thing, I think, is the fact that X-Men 97 got a nomination for best animated series. Very, very, very cool. It is up against The Simpsons. This show I haven't heard of called Scavenger's Reign. I'm not sure if either of you are aware of that show. And then the other one is Blue Eye Samurai, which is, of course, the hugely successful Netflix series. That's definitely on my list because it looks amazing.
It's between those two.
Yes.
Samurai and X-Men.
Yeah, definitely. I'd really love to see. I mean, we'd all probably love to see X-Men 97 get up there. As a win for Marvel and just as a win for good quality TV, really, because it's easily one of the best shows of the year. So yeah,
best surprise as well.
Yeah, yeah. Huge surprise. A huge surprise. I don't think there's anything else really worth mentioning. There's a massive list, of course. If you guys want to go check out the nominations, you can online. But yeah, I'm really happy with a lot of the nominees. It's very cool, very cool. Fulia, do you have any thoughts on this year's round of Emmy nominations?
Well, I will just say that the Only Murders in the Building got 21 nominations. overall.
21.
21. However, what fascinates me is not by the series that got the most nominations, but what platform got the most nominations? Guess who is on top with the most nominations in that streaming service?
Disney Plus.
Netflix. With
Netflix.
107 nominees.
Wow.
Yeah. Across 35 programs.
Holy
Still
shit.
number one.
HBO with 91 nominations across 29 programs. Apple TV Plus with 72 nominations across 16 programs. It's interesting. It is very interesting. That kind of fascinated me. And I was just like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Netflix is top gun for most of the nominations. I'm pretty sure they'll come away with some wins too, especially for the Crown.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
For sure. But yeah, it's just fascinating to see that, that, yeah, Fox, ABC, Hulu, and Disney Plus together and others all sort of tally up together to 183 Emmy nominations. Not individually, but just as a group. They only tally up to 183 Emmy nominations, which isn't much considering the fact that they're together and not separated. But I suppose they're still kind of under the same umbrella, so
yeah,
under Walt Disney Co. So
all goes to the same mouse.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of fascinated me seeing those numbers there. But yeah, look, I'm very happy to see that Only Murders in the Building has gotten all the nominations, or well, all of the good nominations at least.
All of them.
And then yeah, just happy to see that X-Men '97 has been given a shout out as well, being a great animation series. Not only that, but also the fact that it's a Marvel animated series, so that's actually really cool to see. Yeah. Apart from that, yeah, look, we'll see what happens, I suppose, when the actual Emmys happen. Good luck to all of the nominees, I say.
Indeed. Yes. Indeed. Yes. Thank you, Fulia. That was great. Mike, I'm sure you'll keep this brief. Do you have any comments? I do know you.
Yeah, it's good for people to get recognition on their good work, and there's plenty of good work out there. But yeah, I've already said my piece on award shows and all that, and how they're fraught with peril. But good luck to all, and
yes,
I hope the better person win, but not really, because it's all to do with the love and not the accolades or the notoriety.
Yes.
Because you like what you like.
Yes, that's very true. That we do. Well said, Mike. Well said. All right. That's the nerdy news for this week, guys. That's done. Which means it's time to roll on up to the trailer park.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeehaw.
It's Trailer Park time. And first came off the rank this week is the brand new trailer for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Don't
Yes.
say it again.
No, don't say it again.
Pop up behind you.
Unless you want a Michael Keaton.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to that.
Rolling his guts in your living room.
Spill your guts.
Yes. Spill your guts. So yeah, this is great. I don't need to see any more of this. I'm keen. I'm gonna definitely be watching this and re-watching the original because I haven't seen it in so long. But no, it was cool to kind of see a little bit more of sort of the story. I guess something happens to Jenna Ortega's character, and then Lydia has to invoke Beetlejuice himself to, make a bargain to go save her from hell.
Dormammu, I'm here to bargain.
I've come to bargain. So that's kind of fun. I don't really have too much to say about this trailer because it's cool. Like, it's just quirky and it's fun and it's Tim Burton and it's a beloved group of characters and that are pretty iconic in pop culture, and Michael Keaton just looks like he's having the time of his life, so I'm here for that for sure. A lot of the effects look great. I like that scene at the end where all the people were getting sucked into their phones. That was it felt very on the nose.
On the nose.
On the nose. Very appropriate, kind of funny commentary there. But So it looks like a good time. So I'm here for it. I'm curious as to what Willem Dafoe's role is.
He seems like he's playing an antagonist of some sort.
Potentially, yeah. Very much. So I can't wait to find out what he's up to. It looks great. I don't have a ton to say, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go see it. Fulya, what did you think?
Really need to watch the first film because a lot of the stuff that happened in this trailer went right over my head and I have no idea what's going on, so I have no context to any part of that story. So it was a little hard to sort of keep up with it and to understand what was happening and to what the danger was. I have no idea. Honestly, I've got no clue. So, all I know is Beetlejuice is brought back to the living. There are shrunken head dudes with giant bodies and something bad's happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say. I don't know what I got out of this, but it was funny. I had a good giggle watching the trailer, so that's promising, I suppose. Yeah, probably do need to go watch that first one.
Yep.
We should all do a Fred watch.
We could.
We could.
Beetlejuice. Fred watch.
Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Yo.
Thank you, Fulya. Your thoughts on this trailer? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I didn't need to see this. This sort of gave away a bit too much for me. Well, I know what happens to Danny DeVito's character.
Danny DeVito's it?
Yeah, Danny DeVito's in this.
Okay.
but I won't spoil it for you two if you didn't pick it up. My kids love it. I sort of tricked them into watching this. It's like, whoops. And they're not freaked out. Like, every time he does the eyeball tongue out, my little baby boy going, ha ha ha. It's like, oh, you're gonna be one of them kids growing up. Sweet. Yeah, it's sort of a weird fascination that my kids know Beetlejuice, but I haven't really showed them the movie, and I'm a bit hesitant to. I mean, they've seen Ghostbusters, and that's sort of on the same par with visual effects and that. But yeah, we'll see. And I'll definitely mute it when Beetlejuice swears, which, funny enough, is in this trailer. Yeah, so I definitely am going to see it. I think
Nice.
that's it. It was a definite for me, and it's pretty much saying, okay, get over it. I'm done. Turn me over. I'm done. I'm gonna watch it.
Show me the movie already.
Show me the movie.
Show me the movie. Well, Mike, I'll tell you when you can go see this.
Oh yeah, shit, yes.
Where's
this coming out? September 6th. There you go. I did your job for you.
How the turntables. Yes. I have an Australian date of the 5th of September, but same week. Semantics. It's fine.
So we're getting a day early. Well, 2 days early, really. Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Coming soon. All right. Next trailer. Completely different. Completely different. Wow. Okay, so this one, this is a movie called Lee. This is based on a true story, the real life war photographer Lee Miller. In this, she's portrayed by the incomparable Kate Winslet. And yeah, it seems to just basically be chronicling her time, getting into war photography, and especially during World War II. Everything that she witnessed during that time, and what she had to do, like, to get to the front lines, I suppose. As a woman, they're very much not okay with having her there.
A woman.
Yeah. So I don't really know too much about Lee Miller. I definitely had heard the name before. I find it absolutely fascinating that this movie's coming out the same year as Civil War, the Alex Garland movie with Kirsten Dunst, where that was obviously about, very much not a real war, but very realistic film. But Kirsten Dunst plays a war photographer, and in that film, she talks about Lee Miller in a scene, and says that Lee was, like, basically one of the reasons why she got into doing what she does. So it kind of grounded it in the real world a little bit, and so it's that came out earlier this year, and now here we are, actually getting to know and witness the life of this real woman. I can't wait to watch this. I'm really looking forward to it. I love, you guys know I love a good true story movie, historical drama. Kate Winslet's just amazing. Like, she never gives a bad performance ever. It's not possible. The person in this movie, though, I'm the most curious to see is Andy Samberg. And I'm sure we're all on the same page there. Yeah, because he's obviously comedic actor generally, But hey, that does comedic actors, turns out they can also have some of the most talented dramatic chops hidden somewhere in them. And this looks like an intense role for him. So I'm kind of really excited to see what he can do, because I've never seen him do anything like this, So yeah, really, really cool. I'm looking forward to it. Fulya, what did you think of this trailer?
Yeah, this trailer is really, really interesting. Like you, I am so curious to see how Andy Samberg goes in this one, being a drama piece. And like you, I've never seen him in anything aside from just comedy. And so this just looks like something he's probably branching. I feel like he's starting to branch out to doing more of the drama style of films, potentially, if there's shows out there that he wants to do that is, more drama based. It'd be nice to also see where his skills, lie when it comes to his acting, with regards to doing more dramatic style of projects. So I am interested to see what he's like in this. Kate Winslet is just amazing. She is such a great actress, and I love her work. I've seen her in quite a few things. The Dressmaker is kind of one of my favorites. It's a really good film. My mum likes that one too, actually. She really enjoys The Dressmaker too. So, you know, whenever that pops up on TV, she's watching it and I'm like, oh, I'll sit down with her. Yeah. Being that this is a really heavy war film, I don't know why, but by the end of the trailer, I started crying. I got emotional.
Yeah, I was a little. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It really hit me so hard that I started to cry by the end of it. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. Why am I crying? It's just a trailer. And then I'm like, that's the power of trailers. If they're done, especially if they're stuff like this, where it's drama, it's, you know, it's depicting history. And if it hits you, it hits you. And yeah, I was really affected by that trailer. So I feel like I need to watch this. I think I need to watch this. Yeah.
Good. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much. Mike, what did you think of this trailer for Lee?
Yes, sort of same as Fulya. It definitely did affect me in a way, because I sort of roughly know her story and what she did. Definitely echoes a lot of what happens. I haven't seen Civil War, but I can probably guess the reason why they actually chose to mention her, because she was like one of the ones that actually got out there what was really going on, because there was a lot of hearsay of, was there any internment camps or anything like that, and they're definitely going to touch a lot on this, and I can definitely see like Andy Samberg, like, yeah, he does do the funnies, he does have a dick in a box, and so on and so on. And funny enough, I watched Hot Rod not too long ago, so it's sort of weird seeing him. But what a choice of going into doing a drama by doing this. Like, this is going to be very gut punchy of what's happening, because it's World War II, and it does tackle a lot with what happened. And I can definitely see a lot of I can definitely see the reasons why we're sort of going to be talking about these sort of films and stories like right now, because people are sort of becoming a bit more closed-minded when it comes to media and what they do. Like, there are good ones out there, but there are also terrible ones as well. Not denying that, but the way that you see like modern atrocities now are people with phones on the ground. Like, that's what we're seeing in Gaza and everything, and a lot of people like choose to ignore that. I don't know why, but this is the modern journalism of actually showing the atrocities of what happened, and you can't really deny what it is and what's been going on. And yeah, it's these stories that we need to remember, people, to say, yeah, it's yeah. Don't want to be political in a very funny podcast, but it definitely is a story that is worth telling and worth remembering. I mean, you can say Oscar bait all you want, but stories that need to be told. And
Yeah, I agree.
And it's interesting that this has been produced by Sky, which is a bit strange of having a news outlet doing a movie. I mean, I have my problem.
journalism.
Yeah.
About war correspondence and journalism. I suppose it's kind of
It's sort of
kind of
similar,
makes
but
sense,
I do
yeah.
I do have my problems with News Corp.
Yeah.
Maybe an ulterior motive, maybe, but what I got out of it is that. So who knows what if this is even propaganda for something else? I don't know. I won't know until I see it. So where's we're going to be watching this?
Lee drops in cinemas here in Australia on the 24th of October. But if you want to see it a little early, it actually will be playing as a part of the Melbourne International Film Festival next month. So, yes. So, a couple of options.
Need to catch up and do a group session. Go see it together, maybe.
Go see it, yes. Yeah.
If I can get the time off work. And of course, when I say time off work, I mean let my wife have the kids.
Indeed. All right. I've got one more trailer to discuss. And this one is called A Different Man. This is an A24 production, which tells you a lot if you know, because they do have a penchant for producing very eclectic, very interesting, weird, and striking cinema and television. And this film seems to be no exception to that. Sebastian Stan in the lead role, Bucky Barnes himself, playing a guy who's born with a disfigurement and decides to have that altered, and I kind of want to see the movie and experience it, because for me I kind of find it interesting that, like, unless it's like the point, because like Sebastian Stan is gorgeous, right? Like, he's very pretty. He's a very good looking man. So it's kind of interesting that like they were to cast someone has that kind of appearance as the final form, if you will, of the person with the disfigurement. Like, I find that interesting, but I'm sure there's a reason. Anyway, but yeah, and then apparently the premise of this is that once he gets the surgery done, they're making there's a stage production being made based on his life when he was disfigured, and he then becomes obsessed with the actor who's playing him. Who is in real life, his name is Adam Pearson. He actually has that disfigurement. That wasn't makeup. That's actually how he looks. So very, very fascinating. I'm very really drawn in by this movie. And it looks a bit trippy and a bit weird, and kind of looks like Sebastian Stan's giving a really interesting performance. So I'm very intrigued by this. I'm looking forward to watching this when this comes out. So, trivia on IMDb. Apparently, it was filmed in 22 days during the pandemic. That's something else. All right. Well done. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very interesting. Very different, if you will. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Fulya. Fulya, what did you think of this trailer? How did it go for you?
I have no idea what to think with this trailer. If I say something, it's gonna be terrible of me to say. If I don't say anything at all, I'm just like, I don't know what to do in this situation.
This is a safe space. You're allowed to say whatever you want. It's fine.
You say you were confused?
I was confused, but I'm not really interested.
Fine. You're allowed to not be interested. Art is subjective.
Yeah. You want to see a different man.
Well, apart from the fact that it's mostly, I think, just because as soon as I saw the genre, I'm like, that makes sense. It is a very thrillery horror kind of film, and I'm like, yeah,
suspense.
No, it's not going to be for me.
Suspense.
Suspense.
A
I don't know
dark
what that's-
comedy psychological thriller.
Mm,
Not your
Yeah,
bag,
no.
baby.
not for me. Thank you.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I
Totally
say that
fine.
after watching freaking 3,000 Years of Longing with Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton. But that was an
Yes.
interesting story. This one didn't really capture my interest as much. So, I
No,
don't know.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That is fine. Thank you for your honesty. It is welcome here. Thank you. Mike, what did you think of this?
Yeah, very trippy, and I wasn't sure what was going on myself. So, yeah, it's a very interesting take. I haven't heard of the stage play, but being British, fine. Hello.
It might be a fictional stage play. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
I think that's in the plot of the film. But anyway, go on.
Ah, it could be okay.
Mm.
Yeah,
Maybe.
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 Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to take, but probably that's the right way of taking it. Is like I'm not sure. It's very intriguing, and if you're not intrigued, then don't go watch it. So, but it definitely looks interesting, and yeah, Sebastian Stan can. Sure, he's a very nice-looking man, very very handsome boy. But it's cool that he can stretch out and do other things as well. He's not just Bucky.
No.
He can do his other things. He can do his pet projects. I mean, when you're acting, you sort of have to do those sort of jobs that actually get the money. Like you do in a commercial or you do a soap opera for a couple of months, and then yeah. And then you do the passion thing. It's like, oh, this is really interesting. I can actually do something like this. I mean, I think the last Sebastian Stan thing that I saw was Pam and Tommy. And that was a very interesting take on real world events. Him talking to his dick is a bit weird. If you've seen it.
Yeah. Very much.
Yeah, I'm on the DNMDB. No, I'm on Wiki. Why am I on the DNMDB? Yeah, I'm on the Wiki. Apparently, the production was real. So
there you go.
And yeah, so it's life events, but done in a different way. And Michael Shannon's in this, and he's playing himself. So I'm there.
Always here for some Michael shenanigans.
Yeah, he's great in some of his movies, but that would be interesting watching someone like that playing himself. It's a bit like Nick Cage doing himself, and
Unbearable Weight.
Yeah, Unbearable Weight of tremendous talent, massive tremendous talent.
Massive.
Title's too long and annoying and can't remember. But yeah, very interesting. I can't wait. When?
Well, let me tell you when, Mike.
When?
The answer I have is the exact same as what I just said. A Different Man will be out on the 24th of October. But if you want to experience it earlier, you can go and watch it at the Melbourne International Film Festival in August.
But when?
But when, you say? When? Tell me when.
So
what time?
So could be a double feature with Lee.
That would be an interesting double feature.
Oof.
Oof.
What a double feature. Jeez. Very
Whiplash.
heavy day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One to make you psychological damage, and one that goes, where? Where's? I don't get it. What?
What?
I think out of the two, Lee is definitely more the movie that I would go for.
But the
Nah,
other,
really?
At least.
but the other one's
I'm not surprised at all.
yeah, but the other one's different. The other one's a bit
Man.
different. A different sort of man. Beast. Scenario.
Okay.
Next.
Yes. Well, there ain't no next because that's our trailer park.
Yay!
Yay! But it is time for our next segment.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
It's time
Yes.
for the moment,
Ooh.
the spot, the place, the thing in the show we love to call
Culture.
yes. Yes, it's popcorn culture time. It's popcorn culture time. And now we are here to discuss our thoughts on the season finale of The Acolyte. The Acolyte.
Yeah, but what was the name of the title of the episode?
The Acolyte.
Yes, The Acolyte, but what's the title of the episode, Kendall?
Who's on first?
What's on second?
Yeah, it's The Acolyte, The Acolyte. Yes, they did that for reasons that we may or may not discuss. Cool. So, yes, we have come to the end after 8 episodes, and were all our questions answered? Were we all satisfied? I'm curious to get into. I'm sensing some vibes from Fulya. I like it. Yes. Cool. My overall thoughts. It's really interesting. I watched this twice. So
Okay.
I watched it last Thursday and then I watched it again tonight, so it was fresh in my mind. And I was way more excited the first time.
Oh,
when I
okay.
watched it. After having watched it and knowing everything, for some reason that I still wasn't as like I don't know, it still didn't get me hyped. Like the hype was gone, which I found interesting. So I don't know what that means, really. Take that as you will. But on the whole, like it was a fine enough episode. It was a fine enough ending to the show. It definitely felt like an episode that it capped off better storytelling. Like it thinks it capped off better storytelling than it had. Do you know what I mean? Like this, it kind of had this, like the writing in here was actually, in this episode was actually alright. Like the dialogue for once wasn't terrible, like all over, like it wasn't, you know. But it just, I don't know. I feel like this finale deserved better, like in the lead up to it. I've got a lot of things to bring up and discuss with you guys about it, but yeah, but there was a lot to like in there, which was nice. I would probably just put a point on some of the best lightsaber fighting. Like that's the one thing on this show you cannot fault. That's the only thing, is the choreography in the and the stunt work is fucking next level, and it was so good. So good. I loved that fight scene between Soul and the stranger slash Chimera. That was very, very cool. That was definitely a big highlight for me. Yeah, so I don't know, some questionable decisions were made by characters and the writers. And overall, it stick the landing, I think, but it's definitely setting up a lot for a second season that I don't think it's going to get, sadly. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Star Wars is going to Star Wars and Disney's going to Disney, but I don't know. I mean, overall, the fans seem to have been a bit hit and miss on this as well. Like, most people I've talked to don't like it, but then there is a whole... I mean, yeah, I'm kind of involved in this whole Discord server that's just talking about Manny Jacinto and that side of it. So there's this whole thirst...
I wish I was there.
Yeah. It's this whole like thirsting for the villain thing that's kind of come from this, and you know, and
But
so
the thing though,
yeah.
did he really come out being a villain?
Well, villain is a loaded term, sure.
Yeah.
And especially the way that the series kind of interpreted him.
And this
Yeah, you could
particular
argue-
episode
Yeah.
also showed sides of him that we weren't expecting.
No, this is true.
Mm.
This is very true. Oh, we'll get into it. Ooh,
They,
ooh, ooh.
they were heading towards a seduction towards the dark side.
Yes.
Mm.
But what
Very
does that
much.
seduction take? Not just for power.
Mm.
Not just for what Anakin's to keep your people safe.
Mm.
It's another seduction.
Lots to discuss.
Mm.
Lots to discuss. Yes, but yeah, that's kind of my weird abstract overall thoughts. Fulya, what did you make of this? Did it work for you, this finale, this ending?
I don't know how I feel about this ending. It seemed the way that they decided to end it was very open ended, I suppose, for a potential second season or a film. And I feel like, yeah, look, it's just my overall feelings about this episode. I'm a little mixed about it. Like, I'm not quite sure whether it was good or whether it was bad. I think I'm on the fence. It's weird. I'm on the fence about this episode because there's some stuff that happened in this that I agreed with, that it made sense. Some stuff that happened in it, I'm just like, why? And then just, there were other things that happened that I was like, no, hold on, you're rushing it now, you know? So yeah, I don't know. We'll get into it, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling right now. It's just after watching it and sort of digesting it for the last hour or so, and I'm just like, yeah, it's weird. A weird kind of ending to a season or a series if that's where they're going with it. So,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
yeah.
That's very fair. Mike, how about you? How you feeling about it?
I did like it.
Mm.
Now that it's all said and done, and now we can look onto it as a whole, I think this probably would have benefit of being a complete binge and actually getting the entire story all together. So instead of sitting on it for a week and just wondering, is this really worth it or not? But but overall, I did like it. And yeah, it does open for the fact that there's a continued story. I mean, but that's Star Wars, of course. There's always a story. There's always something. It's always Tolkien. You need the backstory of every single tree branch. Yeah, you can go anywhere. And a lot of people are sort of coming to terms as like, well, the more that they pump out for Star Wars, great television and great stories, but it's sort of diminishing how special Star Wars was. Like for watching like New Hope for the first time, or even Star Wars, 1977. And how special it was. But with this, it's taking place in a new era where we haven't really dived in, especially live action. And I think it did stick the landing of what story that they were doing. Like, with the story of the two twins that aren't really twins, and how and it all comes down with choices and what it does happen within, and those choices that you have to come to terms with, and the main I think almost it's weird because it didn't really have a bad guy per se. They had people who were told to be bad, but it's more to do with the situation instead of like Jedi versus Sith. And yeah, there was no Sith in this, I don't think, except for Plagueis, but we'll talk about that later. I think it was more to do with Sol and Osha and Mia. May. Mia. Yeah. And how they and between those three, it's how they come to terms with their own destiny and stuff, and which I watched this when it came out, so I've got a lot more thinking about it. It was a nice story, and will this have a second season? I assume so, because with all the stuff that I've been seeing, a lot of people sort of turned around with this episode, going, "So that's what they were doing." Ah, okay, okay, I can get on board with this. And of course, a lot of people, a lot of subtle cameos out of this to say, "Yeah, we want more. We want more."
Yeah, no, we'll get to those. Don't you worry. Cool. Well, I have a question to start things off. Because for me it did. It felt, this episode felt like it made episode 7 a little redundant. Just because, you know, the first scenes we get with Sol and May on the ship, and you kind of get in dialogue that, you know, that setup of like, I have so many things to say to you, and we never really get to hear him say any of this stuff to her. Like, we cut to them and he's already like said it all, because he's on the ground and he's, you know, looking very forlorn and just and she's still, you know, strapped down. So I kind of felt like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, it just didn't, nothing was, because, like, you know, obviously May already knew that Sol killed their mum, so like there was nothing. May at that point didn't express anything that meant that she'd learnt anything from whatever episode 7 showed. So it clearly was, I guess clearly episode 7 was for us.
Yeah.
But then we had episode 3, so you've just kind of done that to kind of make us think one way about what happened, and then, but I still don't think they did enough with that. I don't know, it feels like a waste of time, a lot of it, to me. I don't know, like, backstory's fine, yes. But I don't know if it works the way they've done it. A part of me thinks that, like, because there's that scene where Sol is walking around their fortress, and you can tell that he's reliving things, you know, sensing the memories using his, you know, interaction with the Force, and, you know, he's looking out and seeing where he chose Osha over May. And I'm thinking to myself, they could have totally done this episode with, you know, him going back there, and then we can have it spliced in the scenes that show what really happened. Like, yes. You know how, like, one of our complaints was, like, episode 7 only showed us a few things, like, of the truth. It showed us a lot of stuff that we'd already seen that didn't really provide any extra context, I suppose. So I feel like if they kind of spliced them together in that sense, because I'm pretty sure Fulya might have been you. It was one of you guys that was like, flashbacks back, like, go back and forth between present day and the past. Like, one of us said it. I can't remember who it was last week, but yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm feeling about all of this. I don't know. What do you guys reckon, Fulya?
I kind of agree. I agree that the episode 7 could have been within episode 8, sort of spliced together of the parts that we needed to see that we didn't get to see in episode 3. It would have been, or, you know, just bringing some context out, because like you just said, episode 7 just felt like it was not really necessary for the amount of for the amount of content that we got, that was essentially a repeat of episode 3 in episode 7. I think episode 7 was just more of a filler episode, more than it was to get insight into the truth. The truth side of episode 7 should have been spliced into this episode, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just said. It would have made a lot more sense to do that, because we'd still remember what happened in episode 3. Maybe chuck in a couple of those moments into this episode as well, just for, context and a reminder. But other than that, episode 7 really didn't need to happen.
In the order of storytelling.
Yeah. Either that, or they should have just somewhat maybe, I don't know, added the new bits that we didn't get to see into episode 4 at the beginning, and then go into present day. But I don't know, maybe just the way that they decided to run the order of the story is, this is what they wanted to show. This is how they wanted to show us the story, and we're all just nitpicking now. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have any similar comments or any takes on this?
Yeah, take episode 3 and 7 and splice it within the entire show.
Yeah, that would have also worked too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. And because 3 and 7 are companion pieces anyway, of way things go about in the overarching story. And I think, we ended with Sol saying, sit down and let me tell you all about it. And we got that episode. I thought, okay, that's sort of what happened on his side. He's telling her, this is the reason why I killed your mum. She turned into spirit ghost, and she scared the shit out of me. So stab. and you were going corporeal as well. So what was going on? I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was all Sith. I thought it was all crazy. And then I felt bad, and I didn't want to fight the other witch until she punched me in the face. I was like, fuck off. But overall, it could have been very different way of combating that to make it more coherent and also different. Who knows? But didn't work for some people. Sort of worked for me, but I can see where people may have gotten lost and all that. Dare I say, and not to tangent to another franchise, but Kendall, they sort of do the same thing in Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
So be wary of that.
Interesting.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. Thank you very much. Another thing about Sol and May, that kind of struck me, this, chase scene, where May gets away and, gets in the escape ship. It was really cool visuals. Like, I remember remarking on them in the trailer, like the, flying through the planet rings and all the crystals and everything looked really, really cool. But was Sol trying to kill May?
Tractor beam.
Was it a tractor beam?
Hmm.
Okay, I thought it was a...
Thinking it might have been a tractor beam, but then I was also second guessing, thinking, is he gonna shoot her down or something?
Well, that's what I thought. I thought, but no, it was a tractor beam.
Yeah. Okay. I was in two minds about it. I'm like, is he trying to use tractor beam, or is he trying to shoot
well-positioned shot.
Yeah.
I said across her nose, not up it.
Yes. Okay. No. All right. Great. That.
Yeah.
No need to discuss that. Then I was wrong.
And then Sneak, the little badger bastard, saying,
Freaking Basil.
Yeah, Basil, the little tracker.
little turd.
Little turd.
No, whose side is supposed to be on when he did that?
That
I'm
was
just like,
interesting.
excuse me.
Well, see, that's why I thought that maybe
Yeah.
Soul was gonna kill May.
Yeah,
Because...
that's where my brain went too when that happened. I'm just like, hold on.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway,
That's fine. What to talk about next? Well, I mean, in order, I suppose. There's some interesting stuff with Osha and Chimera, the stranger, on his planet. The opening scene was cool. Like, again, another case for taking out episode 7 altogether because of the way episode 6 ends with her putting the cortosis helmet on.
Yeah.
The breathing. This episode opens the breathing. The helmet's still on, so it's like bam, bam.
She's been breathing for an entire week.
She's been breathing for a long time.
Yeah.
She's been in that mask for a long time. No wonder she lost her shit. That was a really fascinating moment of of her like starting to like seize and then lose control of and like she's so powerful clearly that she just being in that sensory deprivation situation, like really like that was epic. Because we've seen that was a really good way I think for them to show us how powerful Osha and May are, or at least can be, especially when you have someone like the stranger who is now at the whim of her power, like the fact that he was all Torben mind controlled, black eyes, like, and we've seen what he can do. So I thought that was a really, really cool moment. But then the scene following it with like, them kind of sort of bickering over what to do. Like, she's like, I saw May, she might kill Soul and I need to stop her, or what. She doesn't say that, but like it's maybe implied. I don't know. I need to go find her or whatever. And then, they have this weird exchange about, where are you going? There's only one ship. I'm like, well, we're going to go together then. Okay. I don't know. It was funny.
The plot needs to move.
The plot needs to move. Yes. I really want to start talking about the cameo because it happens in sequence here as they're leaving. But shall I throw to you guys for any thoughts first, or shall I just start talking about the
We can always add
cameo?
Yeah, always chuck it in together.
Just okay. I'll just keep going. Okay. So they're walking out. They go into their ship, and then the camera, is suddenly within the cave, within where they were, and then we get to see a hand. It's really creepy, and then camera turns around, and there's this alien with striking eyes and just looking very mysterious and a little sinister and whatnot. And I was watching this at the time going, I don't know who this is. I'm sure this is someone important. Didn't even think for a second who it could possibly be, because I just didn't actually think the show was going to do that. But then, I had a friend tell me, and then I had the internet tell me that it was fucking Darth Plagius.
Plagiarist.
And Plagiarist. Fulya, question. Yes.
who is he?
Okay. History lesson.
Actually, time.
This is where I was a bit lost when I saw him. Like, are we supposed to know this?
Yeah, see, this is the first time he's ever been seen.
Okay. But
live
he's been
like,
mentioned?
yes, so the first time he was ever mentioned, I'm fairly certain in canon, or at least in the movies, was in Revenge of the Sith. There's a very pivotal scene where Palpatine is, in the middle of his seduction of Anakin, and they go to this space opera thing. and he's like, "Have you ever heard of the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise?" And he talks about this Darth Plagueis, a Sith Lord, who was so powerful he had the ability to create life from the Force. Yes. Which gave Anakin the idea to try and save Padme.
Okay.
And that's how Padme ends up dying, because he loses control of himself.
Because Anakin had a vision of her
Padme
dying.
dying. And he wanted to that was how Palpatine got him. He wanted to save her. And he'd been fighting with emotion and attachment his entire time as a Jedi, so Palpatine really worked his same as Chimera did with Osha a couple of weeks ago, like saying, there's anger and fear and desire, like these things that we can't help. Senator in this episode calls Venestra Rowe out on it. It's like, you Jedis think you can control your emotions. You can't. We can see you can't, and you're gonna lose it one day, and it's gonna be really bad.
Yeah, one of you is going to lose it today, Anakin.
Yeah, more foreshadowing. But anyway, so Darth Plagueis is this very, very mythical, powerful Sith Lord. He is also Palpatine's master. And that was one of the things that a lot of fans, I think, why they were hoping he wouldn't come up in the show, but we all kind of thought he was going to, maybe because of the whole twin situation, and how they were created, because that implies they were created, using this versions in the Force, which is, creating life from the Force. So yeah, and because of the timeline, like this is 100 years before, and I guess, if Yoda can be hundreds of years old, then I guess Plagueis can be as well. I mean, there was even theories that the Stranger was Plagueis, or that maybe Osha or May or Mother Anastasia. Like there was just a lot of theories.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so I didn't actually think we were going to see him. So that's why I didn't really click when he came up on screen, and then found out later, and I was like, okay, I guess we're doing that. But like, my question is, why the fuck is he on this planet? Because
he's hiding. I know.
Chimera. Oh, we'll get to you in a moment.
I don't know, but this is my theory.
Oh, you don't know? You have a theory. I like theories. Chimeра's, he doesn't say he's a Sith. He says that they would call him a Sith. But he's looking for an acolyte. He's looking for a pupil. The whole rule of two thing.
Yep.
So why is Plagueis on his planet? Does he even know he's there? My guess is yes. And why isn't he on Brendok, where the Vergence is, and where life can be created? Like, questions.
Yeah.
That are probably never going to get answered.
Yep.
Yes.
Season 2.
Anyway. If it happens. It was weird. It was a weird cameo. A lot of questions. Fulya, briefly, did any of that explanation help you sort of get a grasp on what they're trying to do here?
Okay. I know now I understand what's happening and why he was there and all that sort of stuff. So, okay. I don't know. I don't really have answers for your questions, nor do I have theories for your questions.
That's okay.
But I kind of feel like maybe Chimera knew that he's there, or maybe he doesn't. I feel like maybe he doesn't. Because going back to Osha with the helmet on, the moment that she starts having that power surge, we'll call it, Chimera could barely get a handle on her and try to sort of get in control with her to remove the helmet in the first place. So he had a rough time. I thought, for whatever reason, when that happened, I didn't think it was Osha doing it. I thought it was an outside source.
Ooh.
That was where my brain went. My thought process was, there's an outside presence that's doing this to her. I didn't think I don't yeah, it definitely wasn't Crimea. That my brain didn't think it was him. But my as soon as we saw Darth Plagueis peek out, that my brain went sort of made a connection thinking maybe he was the one who did it.
Ooh.
Potentially.
Okay.
So that's where I went. But then when you mentioned when you mentioned the fact that it's a sensory deprivation helmet, it'll be just her and the Force. And that's where, if she concentrated hard enough and focused, her power would come through. Post that thought and then you explaining it, I'm like, that would make more sense compared to my theory. That she would be more powerful than we realize that she is. And especially considering what happened towards the end of the episode as well. So that kind of made a bit more sense to me. But yeah, initially when I was watching it, I thought it was an outside source and I thought it was going to be Darth Plagueis that did it. Yeah.
I like that interpretation. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did not ever think about that. Very possible as well. Very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mike, hit us with your theories and your feelings about this whole thing.
Let's have it.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I think the fact that this show needs some sort of connected tissue to other Star Wars because it's very new, so they needed something. And a bit cheeky, putting it. I mean, Mundi in first half of the series is like, oh, that guy. I know that guy, Conehead guy. And then they go for a very obscure, and then obviously Yoda at the end. First, when I first watched it, it's like, ooh, who's that? It's not Snoke, is it? And looked at him and it's like, oh, they're doing it? And then confirmation on the internet, it's like, yes, there's Plagueis. I think the reason why he's there, and I don't know if the rule of two implies here, because I don't know. Maybe he's the master and the stranger is the Padawan, the apprentice, or anything like that. But of course, we'll find that out in season 2 when it does happen, because it will happen. Because it will. But I think the reason why he's on this planet in particular and not on the mining planet is because of the metal that's made of the helmet is actually ore. That sort of metal ore is actually in this planet. So essentially the entire planet is that metal, and that's the best way to hide. He's probably hid there for a while. That's why he's in the cave.
That makes sense.
And he has to send out his sort of stranger to do stuff. And a lot of people are speculating that, yes, he's the reason why Mia and Osha are there, is because this is his experiment. That's sort of what the inclination is, basically.
So like he's connected to the witches somehow?
Yeah, in a way. But
or he found out that they were created and then sent out Chimera to see if he could wrangle one of them in.
Yeah,
I guess
because it hasn't explained how him and Osha met, which is weird.
Hang on, who and Osha?
The stranger.
Well, they, as far as we know, they first met when Osha pretended to be May back in episode 2. when like before Chimera was revealed to be
I'm confusing the twins again.
May.
May.
You meant to say May. Yes, we don't know how they met, but
Yeah.
it just sounds. The vibe I get is like it was, she was searching for something, and he was either pointed toward it or found her and was like, "Oh, I can use this, or I can take advantage of this, or I need her because of who she is."
Yeah. Great disturbance in the
guess.
Force.
Yeah.
And trying to get her to be his student, but shit went awry until he discovered the other twin. It's like, oh, you're more powerful than your sister. I'm going to seduce you in more ways than one. It's a bit steamy.
Lots of hand holding. That was, and like thumb stroking. Anyway, I was having a time. I was having a time. It was great.
Get to that. I have thoughts.
Yeah, so I think
yes.
I think Plagueis is the secret puppet master within this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, it's possible.
And yeah, that's my theory on the reason why he's on this planet, to hide from the Jedi. But this is the thing. Does Yoda know? Did he know all along and he just hid it from everyone?
Yeah.
Yoda's the
I hate
bad guy.
it.
Yoda's bad guy.
I hate it when plots do that with characters, where they
he keeps
make
secrets all the time.
They make other characters, they know the secrets, but they just keep it to themselves until it's absolutely necessary to tell them.
Yeah. Yes.
Hubers.
Yep. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, ladies and gentlemen. That is that movie.
Yeah,
one of the
pretty much.
main reasons I did not enjoy that movie because of that trope. Ugh.
Yeah.
And Darren. Anyway.
Poe Dameron?
No. No, I wish. My God. Bring back Poe Dameron. Let me thirst over Oscar Isaac again.
I'm about to. He's going to be Apocalypse.
Yeah, enjoy that.
That's it.
Unrecognizable Oscar.
Ha! You're Moon Knight.
No.
Yeah.
And now you're
My
blue.
brain just clicked. Yeah. Summon the suit. Oh God. Anyway, we're gonna go off on a tangent. Yeah. So basically, yeah, all paths lead to Brendok for this big showdown. And we get a lot of confrontations in this kind of climax. I mentioned my love for the epic lightsaber duel between Soul and Chimera. Fulya, did you have any thoughts on their battle?
Honestly, it was almost like Soul had an upper hand against Chimera, and it made me feel good to see that he does have that kind of strength. Being like a Jedi Knight, he has the strength to be able to beat someone who has, Sith abilities, I suppose we'll call it that. But it's also interesting the fact that Chimera still held his own against him regardless of what happened. But it was just it got to a point where Chimera was almost about to lose until they got interrupted, essentially. Yeah. So, yeah. No, the battles, the definitely the lightsaber battles were great. And also the lack thereof of lightsabers. The battle between the two sisters.
Yes.
Well, sisters in quotation marks.
Yes. I was gonna talk about that next. But
Yeah.
Mike, did you have any thoughts on the saber dueling, the Soul and Chimera showdown?
I'm glad that because the first time that they were fighting was in darkness and you couldn't really see, but I definitely enjoyed this one a bit more because you can actually see a lot more.
Mm.
And the wire work was great.
Yeah.
And
Outstanding.
it's just great. People have been clamoring on for, it's like, we need to see like great like Star Wars lightsaber duels. I mean,
Got more than a duel the earlier in the season.
yeah, this is the hands down like the best fighting ever in Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah, it is.
Really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the shit on Mustafa, yeah, they're just hitting each other with sticks. There's no real like flair, and this had flair.
I mean, the flare was in the fire beneath their feet, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow.
A
You
flare.
really went there.
Yeah. What of it?
Funny meme that I saw today is Luke and Obi-Wan talking and say, "How did my father die? Do you know the game The Floor is Lava? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that meme.
Well, your father wasn't that great at it.
Yeah.
I hate you."
Yes, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Yes, but yes, Fulya, to your point, the fighting between Osha and May was very cool.
Sisters fighting.
Yes, the same person fighting each other. As we find out. But yeah, I liked that I liked the reunion scene and the way things kind of go down. Like, they needed to have a fight and, you know, it needed to build to this point for Osha to find out the truth about Soul and their mum. But I liked this as a build up to that, where, you know, they have this verbal confrontation. And something that kind of it made me think of, like, earlier in the season, you know, when May was, you know, I guess for lack of a better phrase, studying under Chimera, and she was going around killing, you know, all the Jedi she felt responsible for, you know, what happened. And she seems to really possess this kind of anger within her, right, when she's doing all of this. And back in those episodes earlier on, when Osha's still, you know, she's kind of ostracized herself from the Jedi, you know, and then she gets tangled up in this thing because someone that looks like her is killing Jedi, right? She doesn't ever really come across from memory as someone that possesses a lot of anger in those early episodes. It's not until the twins, sorry, wow, what do you call them? I don't know, the person. It's not until they switch, right, that things change. That Osha starts learning under Chimera a little bit, and then May is under not under the influence, I guess, but like she's around Jedi, she's around Soul.
She's
right.
away from the influence.
Yes, correct.
She's off the source.
She's off the source. So by the time we get the reveal with, you know, with May, you know, and Osha and Soul, you know, that whole thing. All May wants, like, May has the saber in her hand. She could kill, you know, fucking Chimera's telling her to strike him down. And she's like, no, I want justice for what he did. Whereas you get this in this scene leading up to, we'll talk about the big moment, but like in this scene of dialogue before May and Osha start arguing, you see Osha really like lean into her anger. Like, her time with Chimera has really seemed to, not that it was long, but it was enough, I think, maybe for her to go, I can feel this stuff. I can process my grief finally. Like, I had all these negative emotions and I couldn't let go of what happened and what I thought that you did, and I couldn't be a Jedi. And now here I am on the other side, and I'm feeling all of this anger.
Yeah.
And it's being encouraged. And now she's just letting it out. So I kind of really liked that the show did that switch, but then also took it to a level of, they switched in terms of their emotional state.
Yeah.
As well. And I just thought that was really, really clever. And I liked the one yeah, like some of the lines that May said were like, you he's the reason, Soul is the reason you had this negativity, these negative emotions. You didn't fail becoming a Jedi. He failed you, right?
Because he
So
told
I
you
just,
a lie.
yeah, so all built from this fucking lie, which then gets fucking repeated at the end of the show. So this is what I mean about like a lot of the episodes leading up to this like aren't worthy of this kind of clever storytelling. This is like really, really interesting, really cool, and I really liked it. It was some of my favorite stuff thematically. Yeah, and then the fighting was great. So yeah. Fulia, any thoughts on that? How do you like? I don't know. How did you feel about May and Osha and their confrontation?
Yeah, it was sort of nice to see them come together again to have that discussion with each other, to just to let it all out, I suppose. And you can tell that spending some time with Chimera, Osha has pretty much revealed some of her emotions that she's been keeping deep down within her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like maybe the fact that she was in that helmet also helped her bring it out too, for sure. Um, so yeah, it was definitely sort of like a really, it was a like, it's one of those things where we watch a movie for a good cry or for a good laugh. It was kind of like that is the kind of like argument that they needed to have to get those emotions just out. And they obviously, Osha was so pent up with all of this anger that now she's bringing it out with violence as well. Like she's fighting. The one thing I will say about the scene where they were fighting, I liked the choreography to how they cut that between their battle and the lightsaber battle between Soul and Chimera.
Especially
It
that
was really
shot
cool.
between when they kick at the same time and then and smash cut to sabers.
To the
crossing
sabers
as
doing
well.
this crossing as well. Yeah, it was really cool. The May and Osha's fight together was pretty synchronized. They knew each other's movements, and they're doing the exact same movements with each other as well.
Because they're the same person.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Which
Doing
was really
exactly the same moves.
at same
Yeah.
move, same time.
Yeah.
That definitely, really made me watch even more eagerly, because I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. This is a cool fight scene. Because they're doing the same thing. So so I really liked that. I really enjoyed the fight scene between them. But yeah, it's just, I think, like you said, Kendall, Osha spent some time with Chimera. Her emotions have been brought out because he's told her to do that. And now May has been spending time with Soul and the Jedi, and so now she's holding back, but she's a bit more tamer. You can still see that she's got emotions coming through, but it's not as uncontrollable as what Osha's is at that moment. So May has definitely learned how to control her emotions, whereas Osha's only just learning that she has these emotions. And so she's just letting it out to then realizing, oh wait, I have so much power. I can actually use this to my advantage, kind of a situation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like she's like, that's what I kind of like, that, and this is the way I think the show does a really good job. Like we've talked about the interpretations on the Force, but like the fact that it's showing, because in our society, in real life, bottling up one's emotions is not necessarily a good thing, right? We're encouraged to express ourselves emotionally and not hide things.
Yeah.
And in our Star Wars right here, we're seeing
The opposite.
the opposite. Like the Jedis are told to not feel this stuff, to ignore it, right? And then you have the dark side of the Force users, whatever you want to call them, Sith, they're talking about expressing that. So it makes perfect sense for
Dark side of the Force.
yeah, it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense for Osha to like, she's been told her whole life she can't feel this and she can't let go of it. What does she do with it? Oh, I have an outlet now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of a healthy thing. Like, so
Yeah.
it's well,
Just to
Double-edged
not really.
sword.
just to add on that, like, yeah, you
Yeah.
need an outlet, but you need a healthy outlet.
Yeah. Not you know, going around killing your childhood mentor sort of vibe, but yeah.
Spoilers, but yeah.
Yes. Mike, do you have any other additional thoughts or anything on all of this?
Probably not anything new, but what we've been saying is pretty much on point of what I was thinking. Like the synchronized choreography was great. And yeah, and just the build up of like everything being laid out, and characters finding out what they needed to know all along. Trope that's been done before, but with this one, it's sort of warranted that in a way. Soul, and we'll probably get into more of Soul, with his sort of, he's a tragic character, and you can't help but feel sorry for the guy, but you can't help but going, yeah, this is a flawed character, and
Yes,
it's sort of fitting that he got his comeuppance, really, because it was all him, and he's like the closest thing that I see in this particular series as the bad guy without being the bad guy. It was just his decision, his choices screwed everyone else, and screwed up Osha for her to lead to be this person that she became, and it also screwed over May of she witnessed all this stuff, and how she blames the Jedi and blames Soul in particular. And then she sort of finds out, it's like, well, it was, he tried to find like the excuses, like, oh, everything was happening so quickly, but yeah, and her motivation sort of changed after what she was going down, and how in episode 6, where she's sort of deciding, it's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore, because this doesn't feel right. Revenge isn't right for me. And then we find out that it's the Simpsons episode where Bart is the evil twin.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. Cool. Well,
and I will say, it definitely goes towards what I say, that this series is better off a binge section instead of weekly.
yes, definitely. Definitely, yeah. It's very much like a movie stretched out over 8 weeks. Yeah, when it should have, yeah, been a dump. They should have dumped it all at once. But that's fine. Cool. Well, I guess, this then leads us into what happens to Soul. Because May, wants him brought to justice, but also wants him to confess so Osha can hear it for herself, because she doesn't still believe, but, May knows as soon as she hears it, it'll change everything. But yeah, that scene was really heartbreaking and really sad and just devastating, but necessary. And I suppose, like you said, Mike Soul got his comeuppance, I suppose. You know, he's very much turned out to be a bit of a, I mean, villain is probably not the right word,
No.
but like antagonist.
Antagonist, yeah.
Yeah. You know, this guy who let his emotions guide him, his, as he tried to say, you know, and as Vanestra said, like his love for Osha, and wanting to do right by her after only having met her for a day, you know. He was so emotionally connected to this little girl. So yeah, noble intentions, but terrible execution, sadly. But this scene of him explaining himself and being like, I'm, you know, this is why I did this, and I, you know, I, and all of that, and it was all for you, and kind of thing, and then just Osha, just the whole stop talking. I don't think she needed to say it a second time. Once was enough, but it was powerful enough to just know, even before she lifted her hand up and you could see the like the gesture of the like forced choking, like just her standing there and that rage emitting this power of just gripping him by the throat, you know, like was
Yeah, the way that she was also standing too.
Yeah.
It's a very negative sort of kind of hunched over kind of a feeling. So you can see there's negativity over her as well. Yeah.
Yeah. You could really see it. You could really feel everything.
Yeah.
From her, for sure. Yeah, it was really powerful, and the fact that like, you know, she started doing. He was about to say, you know, that he loves her, and then, you know, and then it's just gone.
She didn't want to hear it.
No.
Yeah, she's just like, no, you killed my mom. You didn't have to do that, and
now that
I'm
you say that you did it because you loved me, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible. So that was a bit of a flooring kind of a moment for me watching it. I was like, I wasn't surprised that Soul died. I was sort of half expecting it, maybe. But yeah, that was a really powerful death scene. I think. Fully, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I was hoping that she would stop and let him go.
Yeah.
Even maybe a little bit injured, but I did not expect her to go the full hog of closing the fists, and that was that. I was like, no. Let's just say I had a slight attachment to Master Soul.
I mean, that's fair. He was like in another show or another movie, he's like a very much more of a Qui-Gon character. Like they were kind of going for a Qui-Gon vibe with him anyway, but like definitely the other side of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't blame you.
So I was very sad when I figured that he was, you know, no longer with us. Unfortunately. Like Osha's emotions pretty much took over, and she just didn't want a bar of it anymore. I'm glad that Soul still like opened up and admitted that he killed their mother, but I don't know. I feel like he was still holding back on something else that he should have mentioned as well. Because the reason why he killed their mother, not just to protect them, but I think there was something more. But just didn't get a chance to explain himself, or he didn't want to explain it or whatever. But I think there was more to it than just, I don't know, because when watching episode 7, at the moment that Soul was, you know, before he killed her, it looked like that Anastasia was about to do something.
Yeah.
And so that's where Soul's instinct kicked in and had to stop her from doing whatever it was she was doing. We don't know what she was doing exactly.
No. I think they were just leaving it open-ended.
Yeah.
It felt like that she was probably going to combined with
the
that
daughters.
was Osha there. So
No, May.
was it May?
Yeah, May was
Yeah,
there.
May. The one with the tattoo.
Yeah, May.
Me.
No, the one with the tattoo.
Yeah.
That one.
That one.
So yeah. Yeah, good. It was nice to finally hear him admit the fact that he killed her to May. But I knew that as he was doing that Osha was going to walk in on this conversation and hear it all. Trope that I don't
She's standing behind me, isn't she?
like. Yeah, pretty much. That's
you
one
know.
trope that I don't really like myself.
Star Wars is all full of cliches.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, it's just from that moment, the moment that Osha decided that she was going to kill him, didn't want to hear his voice anymore because of the fact that essentially he killed her mother. That was when we knew that she was turning and going with May, essentially going on May's side. She essentially turned to May's side and started, and that's kind of where that reunion sort of starts happening more so, where it was more like, I'm sorry for not believing you and trusting you and all that sort of stuff. So, and then the fact that they also, those two plus Chimera run off together. Well, Chimera disappears first, and then those two go and run off.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Here's my issue. Like the fact that Osha's turned so quickly, kills Soul, and then just immediately forgives May. I'm sorry, I didn't trust you and believe you.
Well,
okay. You were having a fight, not like 5 minutes ago. Why are you all of a sudden taking her side now?
because because she witnessed that what she was saying was true. And Soul confessed, pretty much, and all this stuff that she held resentment to a other person, was all released from killing Soul. I mean, I've never killed anyone before. Touch wood that I will never do that. But it will, not to be glib, but it would be some sort of relief. Not a healthy one, but... And being overly hyped and emotional, she would probably just cling on to the nearest person that she probably felt safe and secure with, and that would be the person that she spent more time with, in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
and also they only had 20 minutes left on the episode, so they needed to run.
Yeah, we had a whole episode wasted. Remember?
Yeah.
But no, they like at the previously on at the beginning, like they made mention of that scene from episode 5 where May's trying to talk Osha down. Osha's so set in her ways, and May's just like, they've brainwashed you. You don't know what happened. Osha doesn't want to hear it. May it just doesn't. So I feel like her finally finding out the truth. And because we've at the start, earlier in the episode, not that much earlier, yes, but earlier we'd had that moment of Osha, like the source of her anger is the death of her mum, really. And she thinks May's responsible. And so this entire time, these feelings have been aimed at this one person. And then she finds out that person actually... that anger was wasted on her. It was actually Soul she should have been angry at the whole time. So, and Soul turned her against her sister unintentionally, like, well, intentionally, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm
Lied to her for
words.
years.
Lied to her for years and years and years, and made So I feel like I get what you mean, Fulya. It is a big switch to happen in one episode over a course of like what feels like 20 minutes to us, but I think for me they did enough. They just scraped by, I think, with other stuff that they did to kind of explain it. I didn't really like, and plus I also knew this was gonna happen. Like, I think we all knew that Osha was gonna turn.
No, I did not think it was going to go this way, to be honest. Yeah,
Oh,
I honestly did not.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
So this
Alright.
one kind of did, the ending did kind of take me by surprise.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
I'm envious.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked a surprise.
Nothing
this episode.
surprises me anymore.
There wasn't a lot of surprises here. All right. Well, we need to start trying to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of things to talk about before we get there. The Kyber crystal bleeding moment.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was cool. First time we've ever seen that in live action. Enjoyed that intense moment. What did you guys think?
It was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Just sort of cemented the fact that Osha was definitely going more to the dark side. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And
yeah.
the bleeding
It was
effect was
cool.
just.
Have we ever
feel the
seen that
kinetic-
before?
No.
That's the first time we've seen
This
that.
is the
haven't we?
first time they've ever. Yeah. Apparently, it's how Kylo Ren made his saber red in like off screen. And that's why his saber is all like janky, like it like twitches and shit.
Is that
shakes.
the same? Would you say is that the same for every Jedi that we've seen in canon that has turned to the dark side, like Anakin's and all that sort of stuff? They would.
I suppose so.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Maybe they
Anakin's
retconned it
doesn't
in,
turn red.
Well, he gets given a new one.
Yeah.
I think he got a new one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes. Because Obi-Wan nicked it.
Yeah.
After he did the big burnout.
The big burnout.
The big burnouts. You are my brother, Anakin. I don't know why. Alec Guinness was from Liverpool.
Why not?
Why not indeed?
Cool. Yeah, so basically, couple of big things to touch on, I guess Venestra Rowe is a bit shit as well. The fact that
lies.
She lies. She continues that cycle of mistrust and deception.
Man.
That is going to come around and bite them in the ass. Like, everyone is basically telling her. Mike's very happy.
Jedi suck.
Yeah. Like, the fact that everything is just, Sol's dead and May's memory's been wiped at this point. She's like, I just want to get my hands on Chimera, who is her fucking Padawan. Surprise, surprise. So, yeah. So, I really kind of felt really bad for Sol because, like, I mean, I don't know if he deserved to die. Sure, he definitely deserved massive punishment for what he did. But then for her to use him as use him as a scapegoat in death, and brandish him as this rogue, Jedi who was corrupt and killed.
I didn't like that either.
I mean, it was interesting storytelling, but it was it sucked.
Count Dooku did nothing wrong.
Thanos was right.
Magneto was right.
Magneto was right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so very interesting. I kind of like that kind of further cemented and perpetuated the Senate's concerns around the Jedi. even though, you know, she's like, oh, here's your story. It's wrapped up in a nice little bow. And then
So
they're
what
like,
you're saying
yeah,
is one of you's fucked up.
Yeah.
yeah, we're
So we
still
need
going to
to keep an eye on you.
The
We need to
fears that we
investigate the
had
situation. Yeah.
are
Still confirmed.
substantiated.
Yes.
We're going to keep an eye
Oh,
on
but
you.
it's just one Jedi. No.
No. We need to look into this.
Yes. Oh God. So yeah, so that was all a bit. Yeah, I hated that, and especially because, like, you know, for me, the biggest, apart from Sol's memory being tarnished, like the thing for me was like just repeating that mistake. Like the part of the reason, and pretty much almost the entire reason that this is happening is because Indara made the decision to lie. Like if Sol was gonna turn himself in, you know,
Yeah.
and then she was like, no, you will make life unbearable for Osha. She won't get a chance to live, you know, be a Jedi and all this stuff. And but then, like, how many people had to die, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
And Sol
unfortunately-
also mentioned, like, when he was admitting to what he had done to May, you know, and then when Osha rocked up as well, the fact that he was protecting her. If he hadn't have lied, then this, like, she wouldn't have had a great life and all that sort of stuff. And the fact that she was too old to be trained to be a Jedi and all that. And, like, essentially just kind of like repeating what Andara told him, he's telling her, essentially, which was you know, interesting in that respect. And I'm just like, dude, why? Yeah, it all comes down to Andara. Andara's the problem. She was at fault. Damn you.
Yeah. She
So what
told
you're s-
Chimera to go away. Whipped him good.
So what you're saying is that there's more than one Jedi here that is
Yes.
bad.
Yeah.
And everything will be
Corruption.
not just corruption, just
Yeah.
she made sure that Sol was thrown under the bus because otherwise there isn't really any proof except telling everyone that, well, my apprentice went rogue. I have to explain that, and then, oh, I might get into trouble. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Like I totally see Chimera being this loose end that Venestra wants to tie off.
Yeah.
That she wants to throw under the rug, as well as
Yes.
Sol. So Sol can get all the blame. Otherwise, then a lot of more interesting things will fall in.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of more interesting things, the way this episode ends.
Yes, let's talk about this. The sexual tension. No.
I'm sorry.
Okay. One, I need to know where Osha got that fucking outfit from because it is great. I also love how in sci-fi and fantasy these places just happen to have somewhere where there's a really good outfit.
Pretty much.
So
Yeah, you can borrow
hand-wavy.
my clothes for the time being. Oh, it fits perfectly to my body. It's tailored to me.
Yes, it's tailored to me. Yeah, so they go back to the planet where Plagueis is hiding out. And yeah, we get this lovely kind of, I don't know, ominous, but also sort of romantic moment, maybe?
No,
I don't know.
I don't know that it's romantic, to be honest.
Look, a lot of people are projecting it.
Stop
But I don't-
shipping already.
No!
Wishing.
I don't look. That's they're
Yeah.
probably more likely to happen than, you know, other characters that I happen to ship.
In this show?
But anyway, no, in other shows.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I was gonna
But
say.
look.
Can't really think of any.
My honest answer for
Basil
this,
and what's that droid? Pip.
Basil and Pip. Let's
Love is love, dude.
Bip. Love is love.
Pip.
Bip. Hashtag Bip. Anyway, I look.
Bipple. Beelzebub.
if I
Beelzebub.
can, if I can separate my shipper brain and my Chimera's evil and pretty brain, if I can get that out of the picture and I just look at it objectively, I I don't think it's romantic. I think it's really like, oh, I have my acolyte, right? I have my student, I have my pupil. This is what I was looking for, and now she's here. And he's, he's got his grip on her, he's got his hand on her, and there's a lot of that in this whole thing. And yeah, literally, like it's very in your face sort of thing. And and then they're staring off into the sunset. And so I can understand why people would just interpret it a certain way. And I could even see it being maybe leading to a physical thing. I don't think they would ever explore that in this, but part of me, I don't see a lot of romantic chemistry. I would be more likely to see a physical relationship between the two of them, not a romantic one. That's just how I see it. But for what they're trying to do, I don't think that's really what they're going for. I think it's this master and pupil connection that Kaime's wanted, and that's and he's got. So yeah, very interesting ending. And then of course Yoda shows up. So woo.
Connective tissue, yay.
Connective tissue, yay. We have to have it. But yeah, I'm not gonna I'm gonna leave it there because otherwise I'll just keep rambling about how much I want them to kiss each other. So Fulya.
You two should kiss.
Smoosh the faces. Smoosh the faces. Anyway.
For your birthday, I'll buy you a little action figure, and then you can go me.
Mm-hmm.
You can go like Darth Helmet in Spaceballs.
Yeah. Nice. Outstanding. All right. Fulya, take us home. The ending. How do you view these?
Yeah. Look. I didn't see it as being a romantic thing because considering the fact that I don't know how long time has passed since they've gone from what was the name of the planet again?
Brendok?
Brendok, sorry, yes. Going from I don't know how long time has passed since Brendok and going back to their planet so that they can then do their training and stuff, because she did mention to Chimera before they left Brendok, take me instead of May, train me instead of her. And then Chimera's like, well, we're gonna have to wipe her mind if that's the case, otherwise the Jedi's gonna use her to find you, to come after us and all that sort of stuff. So that scene it was sad but kind of necessary, even though the Jedi get a hold of her anyway.
Yeah,
I feel like they're gonna find a way to unscramble her mind and make her remember and all that sort of stuff, so because that's Jedis are powerful too. But yeah, that ending scene with them just looking out into the ocean, essentially. No, the hand going to hold the hand. I was just like, dude, this can't be romantic. This is not romantic. You've only known each other for like a day. Excuse me. You don't need to be holding hands like that. But for me,
this is Disney we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Shush. I interpreted it more of a like the way that you were saying, Kendall, in terms of looking at it objectively as being like he's got his pupil and he's ready to train her to the best of his ability to make her to be able to get her to use her powers to the best of her ability. And in that sort of instance, that's kind of how I saw it, because I'm like, this can't be this. There's nothing romantic about their relationship. They've only just sort of starting to get to know each other, and so it is definitely more of a like a master pupil kind of a relationship here. It's not nothing romantic at all. Look, if they end up doing another season or a movie to tie up loose ends, and they tell me then that they become whatever it is, like it becomes a romantic relationship, I'm gonna riot. I can't.
Yeah.
No.
And they give birth to Palpatine.
No. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. But I would like to see them train. That'd be cool. To see where she ends up, how powerful she gets.
Yeah, that
Yes,
would be
Michael.
interesting. Seeing how Siths or dark Force users train.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too.
Yeah.
Like we got a little bit from May before we found out that Chimera was the stranger. So we got a little bit of that from those two then, like at the beginnings of the season. Now I actually want to see them go all out and actually see them do proper training the way that he thinks is the best way to use the Force. Using your emotions, essentially. I really want to understand the dark side of the Force users, essentially. Not that I want to be one. I'm just curious. We always see the light Force users, the Jedis and all that sort of stuff. We never get an opportunity to see the dark side. So kind of want to see, to balance it out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's one of my big takeaways from this show is the fact that this is the first time we've really gotten to see a glimpse inside of what the other side of the Force looks like, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll definitely help, well, me personally, understand more about the dark side of the Force and to why they go in that direction, essentially. Not just for revenge, not just because they want to protect someone. Just their other thought processes and why they feel it's the better way compared to the light Force users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Nice. Great for you. That's awesome.
And then Yoda.
And then Yoda.
And then Yoda. Never get Yoda.
And then somehow
Yoda.
Yoda returned.
Yes, and somehow Yoda returned. All right, Mike.
Yes.
Your final thoughts on
Final thoughts. Just to jump on that. That would be interesting because we've seen what happens to like Jedi and light Force users training and all that, and it will be interesting in seeing it this way of how it's all to do with. Sure, Jedis can do that thing, but we can do our own thing as well as being in one with the Force and use emotions to withhold that. So it's not really us versus them. It's like, can we just do our own thing over here, and then if there is a continuation of this story, and I hope there is, that the dark side in a way gets corrupted by Plagueis, as well as they're probably not going to do it, but and then we can go to get the idea of the introduction of Palpatine and how he takes it on, where his sole reason is to have all the power, and that's it, and not necessarily of being. Oh, just leave us alone and do this thing over here, and you can stay over here. There's like, no, Palpatine wants to take over, and then there's that balance, because there's always a balance in the Force of light and dark, and then Siths are absolute chaos. So that's the rise of the Siths as well. So, and that's why what we see at the end of the romantic couple, that's not the romantic couple. And if they do a romantic thing, I'm going to laugh at it like Raylo. All over again. Thank you. Where they kiss each other and one of them dies. Yes. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Cool.
So that will be an interesting story to take, as well as having the backdrop of like the Knights of the Old Republic sort of thing in the background, and actually focus more on them, because that's more interesting. Like, if you want Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic, there's books, there's comics. You can go and read that for extra reading. You can do that. But with this one, it's more of the rise of the dark side of the Force being corrupted by the Sith, and the Sith coming back. And that's why this is a lot more interesting of this story, and how it's going to manifest itself into that. And then Yoda.
So many questions.
And also,
all right.
And also just a tidbit, someone actually said on a video that I saw that every Star Wars thing that has a somewhat bad ending, the characters always has their back to you and facing out, and all the good ones they're facing towards you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, because it was just interesting how they made the trio sort of sympathetic by the end.
Yeah.
And I was sort of like weirdly going, why am I feeling sympathy for these three? Because they're being screwed over by Soul and all this stuff. It's like, are we meant to be rooting for these people? Which is quite an interesting take when it comes to like Star Wars, where we've been hit over the head. It's like, no, the Jedi are good. The Jedi are good. It's like, no, the Jedi can be corrupted, and this is the footsteps to their downfall, as it were. So,
indeed.
And now
you're right.
I'll stop talking.
Okay.
Because it's late.
That is fine. Yes, it is late. Yes. No, you said it very well. But yeah, that scene under the tree with the three of them too was very striking and powerful and emotional. So we will see if it gets a season 2. Mike's confident. Fully and I maybe not so much. I don't know. I would like a season 2 to see, if they can improve upon the storytelling and actually, I don't know, and like what they're just going to explore, like what their plans are. Like, I'm curious as to how it's all going to pan out. Why they're bringing Yoda into it? Who knows? And
I wouldn't mind it being just like a limited series of maybe 3 to 4 episodes, but like just long ones.
Yeah.
Make them long, but a short season. Package it up, and then boom, that's it.
Drop it on a day, and then we'll just consume it. Yeah.
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 No
Just
more
do
Acolyte.
that.
That's done.
Yeah.
And we're over. Yeah. Speaking of being over, that's popcorn culture.
Sure.
We're done.
Great segue. Hello.
Hey, you're
Hi.
welcome. Thank you. Yes, popcorn culture done. Those are our thoughts. Many thoughts on the finale of season 1 of The Acolyte. Hope you guys enjoyed that discussion. That was a really great chat. I really enjoyed that. Hope you guys did too. But yeah, we're done. That's the show. We've shown all of our show.
Yes.
Yes, it is time to go. So, on the count of 3, a 1, a 2, a 3, and
that
was a
was a
podcast,
podcast
called
Fred. Yeah.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest content.
If you'd like to listen to Freddy Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And if you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future content just like this one. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on your way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya and Michael.
And I've been the Acolyte himself, I'm Michael Lister.
Ooh.
And you just experienced a podcast called Fred. Transition.
Remember to eat Beth.
Remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and I'm so glad that Joe Biden is out, and we're going to have a chance at the end. Anyway, I'm on Cloud 9 because Weird Al has made another polka. You should listen to it. Ha ha ha.
Amazing.
Remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yes, do. It's most important, especially in these times. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Laters, gators.
And see.